Hey Rad Railers, JC here with Rad Railing Fishing. In this video I'm going to share with you 7 inshore saltwater fishing lures that every fisherman needs to have in their tackle box if they're going to be doing inshore fishing in Florida. Okay, kayak fishing, shore fishing, boat fishing, all these lures will work in any different application. Let's start off with topwater lure. This is the Zara Spook. This is the size that I like. I don't know, it's about 3.5, 4 inches long. I keep them in a couple of different colors. Topwater lures, chrome and bone. Those are the 2 main colors that I like to fish with. They've got little rattles inside. These topwater lures drive snook, redfish, trout, ladyfish, bluefish, all different types of fish. Absolutely nuts in Florida. The way that you tie these on, you tie them on with a loop knot, okay? That allows for the bait to have a little bit extra flexibility. If you don't know how to tie a loop knot, check out this video right here. Okay, so cast it out there, kerplunk, it hits the water. You just twitch your rod, twitch your rod, twitch your rod, but you hold your rod tip down close to the water. That causes this bait to go one way and then back the other way. One way, then back the other way. They call it walking the dog. All right. Lure number 2 that I always keep in my tackle box. This is a Yozuri. I think they call this particular one an HT 100. It's the Saltwater series. It's got robust hooks on it. It's about a 4-inch long lure. I have it also in a smaller version. These are lipped lures. They call them swimmers, jerkbaits. Several different companies make them, right? Berkeley. This is your Rapala version, the X-Wrap. So, and they all seem to have some kind of rattles inside of them. The ones that I use come with a little split ring on them. I just tie a clinch knot onto the split ring. You can take the split ring off and tie a loop knot. Basically what I do, I cast these out there, and depending on what the water depth is, these will run anywhere from like 3 to 5 feet deep. If you want them to run like way up high in the water column, hold your rod tip way up high when you're reeling it in. That'll cause that lure to come up to the top. If you want it to run deeper, hold your rod tip all the way down, and it'll cause it to run deeper. Now, I generally will vary my retrieve until I figure out what it is that the fish want. I mean, you can reel it a little bit and jerk it a couple of times and pause it. Reel it, jerk it a couple of times, pause it, or you can do a steady straight reel, right? Or you can just reel and jerk it at the same time, giving it more erratic action, right? That zoot, zoot, zoot. Hold on, the lure just went flying. Okay, so this little guy right here, this is great for catching trout. My friend Paul from Silverman Adventures Fishing turned me on to this. He throws this out behind his kayak and he trolls it really slow, and trout absolutely annihilate this smaller version of the Yozuri. This one right here I throw for ladyfish. I throw for snook mostly, but usually I'll catch ladyfish, Spanish mackerel, snook on this particular lure right here. But, you know, bluefish, I don't know, guys, all different kinds of fish are going to hit this because it looks like a fish swimming through the water, right? Okay, the third lure, and I've been using this one a lot over the past couple of years. My good friend Otis, who has basically been my mentor for kayak fishing, turned me on to this lure. This lure catches everything. Redfish, snook, and trout. It's a small Johnson Sprite lure. It's about an 1/8 ounce. For fishing shallow water, right? You could get a heavier version, but fishing, you know, 1 foot to 3 or 4 foot deep in water. And then the way that it's rigged is we rig that with we put a split ring on the front with a swivel. That'll keep your line from getting all twisted up. And we switch out that bottom hook to a more robust, I think it's a number 4 treble hook. Just tie it on with a clinch knot, throw it out there, and reel it in just with a steady retrieve. Now, all these lures that I'm going to be talking about here, I basically will rig with either 20-pound test leader all the way up to 40-pound test leader, depending on if there are big snook in the area and I get broke off. I usually will start out with 20 or 25-pound test. Here's a couple of versions of that gold spoon. You can see this one's got the weed guard on it. And here's a smaller version of that gold spoon with a weed guard. Different companies make these, so I use the Johnson brand. Get them at Walmart, any tackle store will sell them. The next one is the Meridine, MR17, right? Tie this one on with a loop knot. And this is the Clear Eyes series. Yeah, love these lures right here. I think this is the mullet. They make them in all different kinds, like pinfish and pilchard colors and all different colors, but this is the mullet color. A lot of times around the flats and the mangroves, I will either throw the pinfish or the mullet Clear Eyes Miridine. Basically, this is your shallow water runner. It just, as soon as it hits the water, it suspends. It just sinks down a little bit, and you just start twitching it and reeling it, and it gives it a real erratic action. Now these don't have like little BBs in them. Okay, so that's basically it. Like kayak fishing, shore fishing, those are like the main lures that I use all the time. Now additionally, I am going to be rigged up with paddle tail. Now, a lot of different companies sell these. This is your DOA. You've got Z-Man. Salt Strong has their Slam Shady series. And with your paddle tail, I'll put a link here in this video of all the different ways that you can rig a paddle tail lure. But I generally keep a small box with all different type and size jig heads in it. I've got like, this is like 1/4 ounce. This is your 3/8 ounce jig head, right? And then also in that box, I keep different weedless hook versions. This is one that has the screw on, and this is a different type of a weedless version. So like I said, you can check out this video up here, different ways that you can rig your paddle tail lures. Great thing about paddle tails is they come in all different sizes, right, for different size fish that you're fishing for, and you can fish the paddle tail lure in all different water columns. You can fish them up high on the top, or you can fish them all the way down on the bottom. It gives you that real versatile range of depth whenever you're fishing them. Okay, so I always have paddle tails with me whenever I'm fishing. The other lure that I generally have with me almost all the time is the Pompano jig and teaser rig. Wacky rigs, silly jigs, yeah, all different kinds of names for these. I'll put a link up here in this video. Also, I'll have links in the description area to the different ways that you can rig these lures. I buy these jigs at Walmart, or I get them from Tackle Direct. I usually buy a bunch of them at one time. A newfound friend recently, he is the person who has started the Pomp Killer jig. I think it's RJ Tackle or R&R Tackle or something like that. Anyway, yeah, he's got the Pomp Killer jigs. You'll find them in tackle stores. You're not going to find them online, so don't leave this video looking for them. You'll find, I tie my own teasers. You'll find different teasers that are available online. People are always asking me, where do you get those? Like, aren't we living in 2025 where we just search on Google for Pompano teasers and we get a lot of different selections that come up? So these are tied on with a loop knot, okay? And you'll catch multiple species with these. I always have these in my tackle box. Pompano, ladyfish, trout, snook, redfish, sea robins, what are the other squirrelfish? Guys, any pinfish, any kind of fish that's out there in saltwater is going to hit it. It's just, this rig absolutely drives them crazy. And it's small enough that small fish will hit them, and it's also small enough that big fish will feed on them as well. I mean, I've literally caught like 15-pound jacks on this little jig and teaser rig out at the beach, okay? So you got to have the jig and teaser rig. I keep different colors and sizes. You're going to see that if you check out my video on how to rig the jig and teaser rig. And also I'll put a link in here to my Pompano. I think we got a video out there with 21 fishing tips for rigging and catching Pompano. You definitely want to check that out. Linked in the description area as well. Okay. Next thing that you're going to want to have, and this is just kind of specific to the type of fishing that you're doing. If you're going up on the Skyway Bridge during like the fall, early winter, or springtime, you're going to want some type of a jig. This is a pretty big one right here. A smaller version of this for Spanish mackerel. Also, these type jigs are good for snook out on the beach. Here's another version of the jig. It's just a hunk of lead with a hook on it, right? And this is your flare hawk jig for snook. We throw these around bridges, bounce them on the bottom for snook, throw them out at the beach, bounce them on the bottom for snook as well. Cobia, guys, people throw these to catch cobia, and it basically just looks like a fish going through the water, or a fish struggling, you know, when you bounce it on the bottom like that, you just let it hit the bottom, reel it up, let it hit the bottom, and it looks like an injured fish, right? So I keep those. I don't generally keep those like in my multi-purpose fishing tackle box when I go out in my kayak. These are more specific for if I'm targeting snook or if I am targeting Spanish mackerel or something like that. But some people keep these in their tackle box all the time, right? Okay, the next lure that I don't always keep in my tackle box, but sometimes I will throw them in there, specifically if I'm snook fishing at night with lures. That's going to be some type of an artificial shrimp. This is a DOA shrimp. This obviously is like a large hand pick size. I like the gold glitter color. There are just a lot of different companies that make the shrimp lures. This is your Salt Strong power prawn version. They make these so that you can rig them however you want, weedless, you know, or with a heavy weight or without a heavy weight or whatever. So artificial shrimp it's just not something that I throw often. If I'm targeting snook around at night, around bridge shadow lines where snook like to hang out, I will drift a shrimp through there. I'll let it drift through the current around those shadow lines, and the snook will hit them. It's just not something that I use often. Don't ask me why. I don't. I never have used an artificial shrimp often. I probably should use it more because everything eats a shrimp, right? But you'd rig that with a loop knot. Also, your paddle tails, guys, you're going to rig that with a loop knot. Your jigs, you're going to rig that with a loop knot. Your Pompano jig and teaser, that gets rigged with a loop knot. I think I already said your topwater plug gets rigged with a loop knot. Your Mirrodine's rigged with a loop knot. Your spoon gets rigged with a clench knot because it's got the swivel on it. Your X-Wraps and your Yozuris, the lip lures, they get rigged with a clench knot as well. Now, obviously, the bigger the lip, the deeper this lure is going to dive. So depending on what depth of water you're fishing in. Okay, so have I covered it all? I think that's it, guys. So you don't need to have 50 different lures in your box. Literally, I'm just going to real quick tell you what I keep in my tackle box when I'm kayak fishing. I've got the Zara Spook. I've got the Yozuri. I've got the Gold Spoon. I've got the Mirrodine. I keep the Pompano jig and the teaser. And I keep some type of a version of the paddle tails with different jig heads. Preferably, I like a white paddle tail, or I like a paddle tail that has more of a natural color, kind of like this one, the dark back with the silver, some type of glitter in it, right? Okay, I think that's it, guys. Those are all. Don't go out there and spend $500 buying every lure that's available, okay? I've made over 1,000 videos on this channel, and these lures that I'm showing you, I've literally caught probably tens of thousands of fish on this handful of lures that you see right here. Like I said, you'll see there are a lot of different colors and versions, but these are the ones that I like: the Zara Spook, the Yozuri, the Mirrodine, the Johnson Sprite Spoon, the jigs that they sell at Walmart, and and the DOA shrimp. You get those at Walmart, different tackle stores. That's basically it. So, all right, check out all the links in this video here. Check out whatever it is I'm linking at the end of this video. Check out the ones linked in the description. Everybody, get out there and go fishing, man. Life is fun. Live it. See ya. Subscribe, or I'll send this guy out to your next fishing adventure.